Welcome. Thank you for joining me for mindful movement and meditation today. I'm Heather, and I'm really pleased to be able to offer you a practice you can do to help loosen up your body and get it flowing with vibrant energy. So we're going to start today in a standing position. And as you stand, we can sometimes, you might notice I'm not standing completely still. I like to start with, even though I'm coming closer and closer towards mountain pose, I like to do a little bit of shifting around and moving. And you can rock just back and forth a few times on your feet to start. And that'll help us to shift down into our body as we focus on the feet, right? It's a way to get grounded within yourself. So just rocking a few times, waking up those feet. It's good to spend some time taking care of your feet, as they do so much for us throughout the day. So now we're just taking time to honor them. If you'd like to kind of shift side to side movement now, so you're coming more onto the outer side of your feet and then rolling towards the inner side. And just wake up your toes as you center yourself on both feet. Lift your toes and try to spread them out, and maybe even just wiggle them a little bit there. You can look down at your feet and notice how they're lined up. The toes pointing forward. And then just bending and straightening your legs a few times. All right. Feeling the movement, the shift in your legs. And also in your feet at the same time. When you're bending, you're sort of softening, and as you're straightening your legs, becoming more active in the muscles of your legs. And you're also pushing down through your feet a little bit more as you straighten, developing a sturdy or stable foundation for the rest of your body here. We'll start to become more aware of the breaths. We'll come more into the mountain pose now, standing nice and still and strong in our body. You can close your eyes if you'd like to, or you can shift your focus to a spot on the floor. Begin to feel your breath. And take a slow, deep breath in. And a slow, long breath out. I'll take about 2 to 3 more breaths, just slow and easy. Helping to connect you to the present moment. As you become more mindful of your breath and your body. It's also nice as you inhale to smile. And as you exhale to smile as well. And then we're just going to start to maybe make some movements, some stretches with our hands. So I'm just going to make fists and then stretch out through the fingers and just alternate that a few more times. And then roll through the hands right at the wrists, helping to loosen up. Moving in the opposite direction. And then you can just shake out a little bit through your hands, your arms. This is really nice to do. It's simple to do, but it's a wonderful way to get the energy flowing in your hands and your arms. You can also add the legs, one leg at a time if you'd like to. And we also, what we're doing is we're shifting the focus from just the mind, from the thoughts into the body as we start to move like this. So a lot of the time our mind can take us all over the place, a million directions. This is bringing our focus back to ourselves here and now. You shake out a little bit more. Even I like to also like bounce up and down a few times. And even tap, I take one hand and tap the sacral area. So there's this bone in the middle, of course, of the pelvis, just above the tailbone, and it's the sacrum. And when you tap that, you really help to balance the flow of energy and fluids moving up and down the spine. And it's actually initiates a calming response in our body too. So I'm just very lightly tapping the sacrum a few times there. And then you can let go of that and shake out. Start to roll through the shoulders a little bit here. You can come back to your breathing. And then we'll go in the opposite direction. And then I'm going to do another thing here, widening the feet a little bit apart and starting to come into a flowing twist from side to side. So I'm just going to start off very gently moving. I'm not moving as far as I can from side to side. I'm just going to flow a little bit here in a nice relaxed way. I can feel that movement in my back, in my shoulders, and through my arms. If you'd like to start to deepen that movement, you can move as slowly or as quickly as you'd like. There's no one way to do this. You want to find what feels good for your body. Sometimes I'll also bend and straighten the legs. And then you can slowly come back to center. And again, just shrug the shoulders a few times. As you inhale, lift your shoulders up. As you exhale, release your shoulders down. And we'll do that for one more breath. And then we'll bring our feet hip distance apart again. And with the arms this time, when you're about to inhale, start to reach your arms up. And as you exhale, bring them back down. And we'll just continue to flow like this a few more times. Sometimes I'll move the hands a little bit more at the wrist. So as you're lifting up, your fingers pointing down. As you're releasing, you're stretching your arms in the other way. And you're not trying to match my movement. You're flowing with your own breath. And this time as you exhale, I'm going to reach the arms back a little bit more and then swing them back and forth. And this time I'm not moving so much with my breath, but keep breathing and just keep swinging the arms back and forth. And at first you might be efforting this a little bit more than you need to, but see if you can start to loosen it up so that the arms just flow easily. They find their own momentum, kind of like a pendulum swing, to go back and forth with less effort. Less effort will help to loosen up especially at the shoulder joint. So we'll do that a few more times. Again, you can move as slowly or as quickly as you'd like. There's no one way to do this. One of my meditation teachers from a long time ago, this was part of their practice when he was a Tibetan monk. They would let their arms swing like this before meditation. It was called Swiso, this exercise. So it's a really good way to help loosen up a lot of that tension that builds at the top of the shoulders and through the upper back. We carry a lot of stuff here, a lot of stress and tension physically, but also emotionally, mentally too. And it really helps get that energy flowing. And then you can slowly release. Shake that out. Take a deep breath out through the mouth next time you breathe in slowly, and then just exhale out through the mouth with a deep sigh. Do that as many times as you'd like throughout our practice. If you ever feel like you just need to let go, help your body let go that way. This time as you inhale, if you want to reach your arms all the way up to the sky, and then as you exhale, release them all the way back down. We'll do that a few more times. And again, you're moving with your breath. For your last time, inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale. Let's do it sideways now. We'll bring the arms up, out to the sides, and then up, and then all the way back down. Again, flowing with your breath. And we'll do that for one more breath. And this time, releasing that and just letting your shoulders and your arms relax and checking in with how your upper body feels at this time. If it feels good, you might want to gently move your head a few times from side to side. And you can also follow your breath as you inhale, turning your head one way, exhale the other way. And come back to center, and this time tipping your chin down and lifting your chin up slowly. You can do that on the inhale as you lift, and exhale as you drop your chin. We'll come back to center. And we'll come up with the arms again, this time to place the hands on top of the shoulders. And we'll do that bringing in on the inhale, and then we'll open. Actually, we'll open on the inhale, sorry, and we'll exhale as we bring it back. Okay. So it's kind of like you're opening the petals of a flower. As you inhale, you're opening. My arms. And exhale, bring it back. I always get confused which arm is higher than the other when I'm looking at the screen here. Just interesting. Try not to watch me too much. Just come back to your own body and your own breath. I'll do that one more time. And then as you release that, let your shoulders relax. Keep your hands there and roll out. And we'll move in the opposite direction. We'll bring the arms down, resting them, this time bringing the hands together in front. And as you inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, circle your arms back. We'll go in the opposite direction, circling on the way, inhaling on the way up and exhaling on the way down. And just flow a few more times like that. So I'm trying to take my arms in a big circle. Inhaling on the way up, exhaling on the way down. And we'll do that for one more full rotation. Good, releasing that. I'm taking a few breaths here in the mountain pose. Relaxing your jaw, smiling as much as you can throughout the practice will really help to reduce any tension in your face, in your jaw. And it'll also help to lift your spirits a little bit too. All right, we're going to place the hands just above the hips here. I'm going to widen my feet apart and start to circle through the hips. I noticed today in my body, that's where I'm probably the stiffest. By now, you're probably noticing where your areas are. I'm going to go in the opposite direction and do for a few rotations in that direction. And then I'll switch and go the other way again. So it's good to do these movements and maybe just picking a few that really help loosen up those areas in your body that you know are tenser and tighter, and that will help alleviate any other things that might develop in that area. So getting that stress out of the body before it becomes something bigger is really helpful. This time as you come forward, making sure we're hinging right forward from the hips and just starting our first little half forward bend here. I'll show you from the side. You can bend your knees if you're really stiff and tight and achy in your lower back and hips, and then we'll just come up. And as we come up, plant your feet down into the mat. And then as you exhale, we'll come over and just feeling that first little stretch in your legs. You can bend your knees and plant your feet and slowly come up. And I might even pull my elbows back a little bit here. And we'll do that a few more times. And keeping the feet firmly rooted into the mat, especially when you're coming up and you can ground down, root down. I'm starting to come back just slightly a little bit more by pulling my elbows back and opening my chest as I lift up. And then this time as you inhale, come back to center. And bring your arms down at your sides. On your next breath in, we're going to reach the arms up. And this time we're going to come down with our upper body, with our arms into a forward bend. Stay there just for a moment, breathing here, bending your knees, looking forward. And then as you exhale, let your head drop down, straighten your legs a little bit. And just continue to flow here. It's okay if you're not all the way down to the floor with your hands. You can slide your hands to your thighs and do more of that half forward bend we were just doing, but just with a little bit more movement now. I'll show you from the side here. If you're down a little bit lower here, you can inhale, or you could use blocks underneath your hands. And this time as you inhale, start to plant your feet and slowly rise up, reaching your arms up and bringing your arms down, palms together to your heart. Inhaling, this time we're just gonna flow with the arms into our forward bend. And on the inhale, come back to center, up with the arms reaching up towards the sky and back down to your heart. Okay, breathing in, let's reach the arms up. Breathing out, arms come apart, fold into your forward bend. And breathing in, coming all the way back up, arms reaching to the sky. And breathing out, bring your hands together at your heart. We'll do that one more time. Let the arms reach up, and you can look up as well. And then slowly come down. Breathing in and coming back up. And breathing out, hands together at your heart. Okay, we're gonna now do a bit of a balancing position for the next couple of things. First thing we're gonna do is just lift one leg. And when you're lifting, you wanna stay open in the standing hips. You don't wanna collapse it down like I'm doing right now. Right now I'm collapsing, so I wanna keep that hip nice and open, and this will actually help you strengthen the hip. So it's keeping that positioning as you lift your leg. See if you can see me a little bit better there. And then just circling that foot in the air. Okay, and then we'll switch sides. Now, this is really important. It's so good to keep the stability of your hips, which will help you to, especially as we age, keep walking on our own. And we'll roll through that other foot, strengthening this side in our standing balance pose. This applies to all positions that we do in yoga when we're shifting our weight and coming into a balance. Let's now lift up that first leg again. Try not to lose it here. And just bring that leg out a little bit, straightening, and then bend it again. We'll do that a few more times. And you can do it in coordination with your breath. And then release. And then we'll stand on that other side and try not to collapse into the hip joint. Keep it open, keep it lifted. That hip bone comes in. Lift the other leg, bend at the knee, and bring the foot out, straight out. I'll show you from the side. And then just bending the knee again. And finding a spot to focus on is always a really good thing to do when you're balancing. Okay, we'll do one more standing pose, and let's do the one we did with coming into a stance here. I'm taking my left foot towards the one side of my mat, so I'm turning my toes. I'll bring my back toes in just slightly in that direction, and I'm going to bend and straighten the leg. Okay, now as I bend my knee, I'm going to reach my arm up. And then as I straighten, I'll release. Okay, if you feel like that knee's going past your ankle, you can slide your feet out apart a little bit more. Inhaling on the way up, exhaling as you release. I'll do that one more breath on this side. Okay, and then we're going to switch. I'm just going to come center my feet forward and then turn the other foot out and the other foot in towards that side. And then just get my stance here. I'll try bending and straightening a few times. And then when you're ready, you could start to incorporate that arm movement. And then see if you can follow your breath. Coming up on the inhale and down on the exhale as you straighten your leg and release your arm. We'll do that one more time. And then we'll release, turn your feet forward again and just walk them in heel, toe, until they're underneath you again. Getting a sense of what's going on in your body at this point as you stand here. Standing up nice and tall, like a string is attached to the crown of your head and it's lifting you up, head reaching up towards the sky. You can tuck your chin down slightly. And then soften right here. So we tend to sometimes tense up right as we do that, kind of lift right through the torso. So at the same time that you're lifting your head up, try to release your shoulders, try to soften the chest. So I'll put my hand there and that really helps me to soften. And breathing. When I'm breathing here, where I feel my breath the most is in my back. So I feel like I want to really promote widening of the ribs through the sides and the back and just really softening the chest. So it's not really moving up and opening too much on the inhale. It's more in my ribs and diaphragm opening. And still, come back to that. If I'm sinking down through my head, lift through the crown of the head. So this can be a breathing practice you keep coming back to help create more space and make sure that we're really properly utilizing our diaphragm to do what it's meant to do. It's our main breathing muscle here. So if you put your hands around your ribs here and feel your ribs expand and widen out, especially also in the back. So if you got your thumbs on the back, you want to see if you can feel that too. As you exhale, it releases. Let's do that a couple more times. Make sure your hands are not around the floating ribs, the lower ribs, more around the midline of your body. Sometimes you'll notice here that one side expands more than the other. Just see if you can even that out. Okay, and then release. Notice what your breath is doing now as you let it go. Okay, and then we'll come down onto the mat and get anything you need for relaxation time now, or not relaxation, meditation time. If you'd like to work in a chair or be positioned in a chair throughout the remainder of the class, please do that for yourself. You might want to do the seated cat-cow instead of, I'm going to come down on all fours and do the traditional cat-cow from the table position. If you'd rather sit in a chair, you can do the exact same thing with your upper body. in that seated pose. So I'll just show you from tabletop. It's really nice to really loosen up the back, especially when you're feeling a little bit of tension there. And again, you're following your breath. So as you exhale, you're lifting your belly, arching your back. As you inhale, you're looking forward. We'll do that for about 2 to 3 more breaths. If you're seated in a chair, you're just doing the exact same movement in your upper body. You're just seated. I'll show you from the seated position. You're just opening and belly comes in and arching. Okay. Wonderful pose to do anywhere, anytime. It's one of my favorites. If you're in the chair, the last pose we'll do before meditation, I'll give you 2 options. If you're in a chair, you can make sure you're sitting right at the front edge of the chair, and you're just gonna come into a forward bend. So just pretend I'm sitting in a chair here, and I'm just gonna come forward, letting my arms and my head hang down, widening your knees apart. If you're on the mat, let's do the child's pose. Okay. And you're just breathing here. Again, if you're in the chair, it's more like a forward hang, seated forward bend, sitting right at the front edge of the chair, legs wide and letting your body hang. If you're in child's pose, you can let your knees come apart, big toes together, closer together. Resting your head, you can always rest on a support if your head is not on the mat comfortably. Again, this is another wonderful opportunity to follow the breath into the body, and it's more in the back. We're creating more space for the breath to flow in the back body. So notice that. And sometimes I'll just reach, if you're in child's pose on the mat, you can reach your arms forward a little bit more, walk your fingertips out. Then slide your hands underneath and slowly come up with an inhale. And now we'll position our body to do meditation. If you'd like to be in a chair, again, please stay in a chair. I just think it's nice. You'll enjoy your meditation more if your body is comfortable. So that's the job now, is just get yourself settled, get your body comfortable, position however you need, sit on a cushion if you're on the floor. We want to start with the foundation. We want our legs and feet to really settle and feel that the weight of our lower body sinking down towards the earth. So feel your feet, feel your legs, and let your seat, where you're in contact with the floor or the chair, let it come down. And this is the foundation for the rest of your body to find alignment and openness. As in the opposing force is the upper body will actually naturally lift up from that foundation, much like a plant or a tree digging its roots down into the earth. It will begin to rise up towards the sky, reaching for the light. See if you can feel that within yourself. Again, without efforting too much, we want to release the effort. Relax the shoulders. Bring your hands into a comfortable position. If you'd like to, you can close your eyes. If not, you can keep them open. Just have them focused on one spot in front of you, usually in a downward direction. And we'll follow the breath in and out. For the first few breaths, you can help your breath slow down. You might even breathe out through your mouth. Our focus today will be on the breath to begin. So if you'd like to continue with that, and if you find yourself going someplace else, the shift will be in that awareness. So you're here in this moment, you're more aware and alert to what's going on. So you can notice more, noticing the body, noticing the breath, noticing any other sensations that you are experiencing. Maybe there's some emotional energy arising in you. We're witnessing that too. Allowing for whatever is your current experience. There's no judgment or criticism, just acceptance. Keep following the breath in and out. And the thoughts that come up in the mind, we're also noticing anything, but from a position of noticing rather than identifying with those thoughts or needing to act on them. In this place, there's space from whatever you're experiencing or whatever you're thinking. With thoughts, it's like they're clouds floating by. They're coming into across your line of vision. If you were looking up at the sky when there was some white puffy clouds in the blue sky floating by, it's just like those thoughts. They come and they go, and we're not trying to reach or hold on to them. Seeing how much we can settle within ourselves to feel that calm presence, the underlying energy of our existence is that peaceful feeling. And you might notice yourself becoming unsettled at any point in your meditation, like you want to, okay, we're done now. I recommend trying to stay here in the present moment. Again, just observing whatever comes up. With your neutral observer, it's just like, okay, yeah, that's going on right now, but it's okay. I'm going to continue to stay here still in stillness, creating space for myself, spending time with myself, and placing my loving attention on anything that comes up. So come back to acceptance. Come back to your breath. The more slow and steady your breath is, the more calm and steady your mind will be. Come back to your smile, and you might just hold a hint of a smile on your lips. With your lips there, just a little bit of a smile. Relaxing the jaw. And sometimes you feel like, oh, I have a need to deepen my breath. So at any point, if you want to deepen your inhale and let go through your mouth with your exhale, you can do that whenever you feel you need to. Helps to bring you back to center. Also, at any point, if you need to adjust your posture and come back to helping your body find that alignment to support relaxation. Letting go of the habit here to always be doing something. Many of us have that daily drive or energy that we always need to be doing something. This is this is of course doing something, but it's more being here now. We find balance. Here we find balance, we find connection, we find clarity and understanding. Sometimes meditation, it doesn't feel easy, but it's worth being here, even in those more difficult times. Again, holding the space for yourself to process, to move through whatever's coming up. Watching with your neutral observer. Before you come out of the meditation, if there's anything you'd like to say to yourself, any supportive, loving message that you get a sense you need to hear today, feel free to do that now. Setting any intentions as you continue on throughout your day. You might deepen your breath and add a little swaying movement to your upper body. You can just also circle your body, upper body. As you start to shift, shifting your awareness a little bit more into the space around yourself and doing any last stretch or movement that feels good before you come completely back to your day. And well, we're always in our the time we spent there, we were more connected to ourselves and to the moment than we often are throughout the day. So the idea is to try to bring ourselves back and integrate mindfulness into our day as we go along. And it's, of course, it's not perfect, and we find ourselves sometimes all over the place, but we have that the practice here to remind us to come back. It's in this moment that we can feel our happiness. We can feel our happiness, our joy, our peace. Smiling. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.